Welcome back to Headlines and Heartlines, a Bluebonnet News podcast where I sit down with the people shaping our communities and talk about both the headlines and the heart behind their work. I'm Vanessa Brazier, owner and publisher of Bluebonnet News of Texas. Today, I am joined by Zack Zbranek, a Republican candidate for the 75th State District Court in the March 3rd, 2026 primary election. Zbranek is a lifetime resident of Liberty County and has practiced law locally for more than 30 years. Represented me once or twice.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Zack, not on anything bad. It was all my child was attacked by a pit bull, and so we had to deal with that. So let's talk about, give us a little bit of a background about who you are and where you grew up and your history.
Well, I was born here in Liberty. We lived in Liberty until about January 11th of 1970s when we moved to Devers. And I went to Devers Elementary, Devers Junior High, and then in fall of 78, I started whole days at a high school where I graduated in 1982, and I was able to get into the University of Texas. Of course, at that time, the top 10% automatically got in to the University of Texas, and I was 5th out of 54 in my graduating class. So,
small class.
So thank God for that 54.
54.
Yeah. And then from there, I went to the University of Texas, and I graduated in 1987 with a bachelor's in history. And from there, I went to Lamar University to work on my master's in history, and I taught history there at Lamar for a year and a half. And then went on to law school at Thurgood Marshall and graduated in 93. Got licensed in 93, and I've been practicing here on the courthouse square, for the past 32 years.
Did you always want to be an attorney?
Actually, no. At one point, I wanted to be a marine biologist, and then this certain movie came out called Jaws.
Oh,
and I said, no, I think I want to go to law school now.
And you're following in your father's footsteps.
Obviously, yes, ma'am.
So for people who don't know, he is the son of Zack Zbranek, who was the judge for the 75th State District Court for how many years?
He got elected in 90, so he took office in 91, and I think he stayed till 02.
And your dad died how long ago?
Dad died in August of 06.
He's a hard act to follow, though, isn't he?
Well, there's some things I just know.
I
just know and accept.
Yeah. So what led you to consider running for the 75th State District Court at this time in your life?
Well, first and foremost, the window of opportunity is shrinking to become a judge. I think. Because I think there needs to be a certain amount of vigor and youth in it, and I think I still have it at age 62. But being in the 75th District Court is something I've wanted to do because I've admired my dad, and I've admired also Judge Moorfield.
Another tough act to follow.
I mean, that guy was brilliant. It still is.
It still is, yeah. Yeah, he's a brilliant law scholar. So how has practicing law in Liberty County shaped your understanding of the people here and the issues that come before that court?
It's taught me that we are unique and that our county is rural, and that a lot of our issues are not the same issues that people have in Harris County or Dallas County or Fort Worth or maybe in Tarrant County or El Paso County. And it was frustrating for me because I would go to these family law conferences, and one of the things that they would have is like a round table and for legislative suggestions. Mm-hmm. And I would hear these suggestions and I would say, that doesn't apply to us. All you're doing is driving up the cost of the people that I'm going to represent. And, they wanted to make mediation mandatory. Well, not everybody can afford that.
And not everybody needs it.
And that's one of the things that I like about Judge Hinch. Judge Hinch doesn't force mediation on you. Mm-hmm. But he, if you want to do it, that's fine. He said, but I'm here to solve your problem if you need to, have a decision made.
Yeah.
Or a resolution to the matter. And I appreciate Wes for that. Because, our issues are different than the big county, the rich counties.
Yeah.
Our issues are different.
We're fast changing, though, unfortunately. Where it's a growing county. I still want to see it rural, but I also embrace some of the growth.
Yes, and that growth, I think, will impact our courts. As we had mentioned, I discussed with you earlier that I think the county's going to have an interpreter, maybe even more than one interpreter, at the courthouse working daily.
Because of the Spanish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they need to understand what's going on.
Oh, yeah, everybody needs to understand when they've got a legal consequence attached.
Exactly. And I think it's too important not to have one there.
Yeah, yeah. So what types of cases over the years have had the greatest impact on your view of justice and fairness?
Well, here about 20 years ago, Dr. Davidson had passed away. Well, actually, it's more than 20 years
Dr.
ago.
Davidson.
And
Who's Dr. Davidson? Can you explain?
Dr. Davidson was a long time a physician here in Liberty County.
Okay.
He was my family's doctor, and Dad had been using him. And interesting thing about Dr. Davidson, after World War II, he had a friend that needed surgery in Orange, Texas. And Dr. Davidson was practicing medicine in the Northeast, New York. Mm-hmm. And he took a train to come do the surgery in Orange, Texas, and happened to stop at the depot here in Liberty.
Yeah.
And had a layover of several hours. And all he did is walk around the town. And when he got back on the train and went to Orange, he told his friend, "I think I found the place I want to live." And so it was Liberty. But the case impacted me because you didn't need money to see Dr. Davidson.
Yeah.
He was there for anybody that needed help.
Like an old country doctor.
Exactly. But anyway, his case, he passed away, and he left a will, and there was a will contest. Oh. And in this will contest, nobody lived in Liberty County.
They were all back east?
They were all back east, and so I ended up having to go to New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Arkansas, all over, taking depositions to get the case resolved.
How long did it take?
It was over a year. It was about an 18-month.
Oh, gosh.
And we settled it the night before to pick the jury. But it just...
The heirs just couldn't get along and settle.
The heirs couldn't get along, couldn't settle. And it was just a insight that people... Greed is a powerful motivator.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that case, I got a bigger worldly view of things and how people work.
Yeah. So, as an attorney, your role has been to advocate for your clients, including Dr. Davidson. But as a judge, that requires neutrality. You would have to shift into that. How do you see that transition?
Well, the thing about it is, I'm a pretty laid back person anyway. It takes a lot to get me mad. And I think that's like my dad. And when you go up there and you listen to the people, and obviously it's like Billy Graham. I saw Billy Graham when I was in high school at Rice Stadium, and he made something remark about puppy love, and he said, "You got to remember, it's real to the puppy." And I always remembered that. And then that's the thing about it is, when you're a judge, it's real to these people. Yes. You've got to take it absolutely serious and listen to them. I mean, I know there's only 8 hours in a day, but an extra 30 minutes or whatever it takes to make these people understand, or for you to understand where they're coming from. So you need to be patient and you need to listen because, like I said, it's real to the puppy.
You think you've got good listening skills?
I think I do. My wife might say different.
All wives would say that, probably. The 75th District Court handles some pretty serious cases, as well as complex legal matters. How do you balance the efficiency with the need to ensure that every party receives a fair hearing? Now, you talked about giving extra time, but there's bound to be more into it make sure that everything's fair. Well,
sure. And that's what I'm saying, is you take the time to listen. I know I've been in some courts that they point blank tell you got 30 minutes. And sometimes 30 minutes is not near enough. So
Yeah.
I don't believe in putting a time limit on anything.
So take the time that's needed.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So public trust in the judicial system is essential, and you and I both know that it's eroded over the past few years. Our confidence in media has eroded over the past few years. We've done it to ourselves, not me personally, but as a whole. So what do you think will help build and maintain that trust in that court if you are elected?
Well, I can only say is look at my work, look at me as a person in the community. All I do, I go to work and I go home to my wife. I'm not a member of a bunch of clubs. I just am in the community to serve the people. And I am probably one of the cheaper lawyers in town, but that's fine. It gives people access to an attorney. I think that gives people trust. So, well, I can trust this guy because he's been in the community. He's not
trying to gouge you.
I'm not trying to gouge you. I just I don't do a lot of stuff to bring attention to myself because I don't want it.
Yeah. You stay pretty low key, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for it, is because I think serving your family first and foremost means paying attention to your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's where the trust begins, and I think that's where it can end if you don't spend your time with your family.
Yes. I agree with that one. I spend a lot of time with my family. You probably are aware we live on a family compound with 28 family members.
Oh.
Yeah, it's amongst 8 houses and spread out over several acres, or dozens of acres. But we're pretty close. But I'm okay with that because our kids grow up playing with each other, and it's everybody's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's go
Family's
home.
important.
I get to spend time with Sandy and Zane, and so it's a wonderful. Zane is my
son.
child.
Okay, all right. Okay, so judges often face criticism about unpopular decisions, or maybe misunderstood decisions. How do you explain the limits of a judge's discretion?
Look, whatever the facts are and whatever the law is, that's the limits. Mm-hmm. Believe me, I have taken several cases that made me extremely unpopular. But I felt that I needed to be there. In fact, this judge wanted me on the case because he knew I didn't care.
It was the right outcome, basically.
Yeah. Who's going to protect the child?
Yeah.
And the judge personally asked, I want to appoint you to represent the child.
Yeah. Liberty County has had significant growth. We spoke about that and how you feel like there's a need for interpreters to work, possibly full-time just to help all the people that are coming through the court system. Do you also believe that there's a need for another district court in Liberty County? Because the caseload is heavy for the district judges.
There is no doubt that that's needed. I don't think Judge Moorfield or Judge Kane would dispute at all that they need an extra court to help with the overload. What the interesting thing is, in Dallas County, their county court at law have the same jurisdiction as the district court.
Oh, okay.
And Dallas County's had it that way for years.
Really?
Yeah. So, the legislature, if they wanted to,
could do that.
They could do that. But the thing about it is, Judge Trapp can assign judges as he sees fit.
And for people who don't understand, Robert Trapp, former San Jacinto County judge, and he is explain.
He's our administrative judge.
Okay, all right. So
he's over Liberty County.
So he assigns judges whenever there's a vacancy or
Sure.
an absence or something.
Absolutely. And so, the thing about it is, if you have Judge Hinchett could hear a felony case, Judge Chambers could hear a felony case.
And those are both county court at law.
Both county court at law, and you''s got to get creative.
Yeah, but creating a third court would create a problem of where would you put it?
That Vanessa, is the big issue. Is where in the courthouse are you going to put it?
It doesn't necessarily have to be in the courthouse.
Well, I understand that.
Judge Kane said that he has his court in Chambers County is in a former grocery store.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct.
So, you could have it in, the county has multiple buildings that they own. Maybe there's room to expand a court into one of those buildings.
That would be great. The only downside of that, and I see this in Chambers County,
Yeah.
is the district clerk's office is housed a mile away from the courthouse.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of convenience for me.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be near the district clerk's office.
Yeah.
But that's just a personal thing.
Well,
And
the possibility of maybe moving to other departments out and making room for a courthouse in the courthouse, a courtroom in the courthouse.
yeah, that would
That
be,
might be possible. Move some of the other offices out that aren't necessary there all the time. But it's getting pretty crowded in there.
yes, ma'am, no doubt.
So, if elected, what is your plan to get through the backlog of cases? We did develop a tremendous backlog during COVID when the courts were just closed for a year and a half or 2 years. So, what is your plan to reduce the backlog of cases and ensure that people get a timely trial?
Just go to work. That's all you can do. If I can't get any outside help, like for example, as another court, your only decision is, hey,
Plow ahead.
plow ahead.
Yeah, it's just you may have to sit, there may be a lot of plea deals and things like that. And there's going to be a lot of plea deals anyway. You can't fit but so many trials in a calendar anyway.
Right.
And you can't get that many juries.
Correct. And the thing about it is, the judges have been helping us as far as family law cases because they've been letting a lot of the divorces go to Judge Hinch's court.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing, both for the family law people and also for the other courts that hear criminal matters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just got to be creative.
Yeah. So, what do you believe is the most misunderstood aspect of a district judge's role?
I think the biggest to me is people think that we have some type of power. I call it John C. Fremont, the trailblazer. Look, district courts aren't for trailblazing. They're there to follow the law. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, if the Court of Appeals wants to go do something or the Supreme Court wants to go do something, that's different. District Court, you have a set of laws and you have facts, and that's all that applies.
You have boundaries.
That's right.
Yeah. You're running in a contested primary. You have, was it 4 opponents?
Three.
3 opponents. I've lost count. What do you hope voters will understand about you and your approach to the bench when they're making a decision in March?
I'm the most experienced attorney in the race, by far.
32 years, you
32
said?
years. There's there'll be nothing coming in front of me that I haven't seen before.
No surprises for you.
No surprises.
How do you approach statutory interpretation when the language of the law is unclear and open to more than one understanding of it?
Well, the first thing you need to do is look at what the Court of Appeals has said about it.
Okay.
And then, we're I believe, in the Ninth Court of Appeals, which is in Beaumont.
Uh-huh.
So that's where you look. And then the Supreme Court. So there's going to be
case law.
There's going to be case law.
Yeah. So, how important is consistency in rulings, and how does a judge balance consistency with the unique facts of a case? You may have a person come in there and they've got a drug possession charge and they get like the book thrown at them, and then the next person gets out with just maybe some a pretrial diversion or something like that. How do you balance consistency in the courtroom?
Well, that's kind of a difficult answer, a difficult question because of this. One person gets 20 years and one person gets probation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did the DA do? What was the DA and the trial attorney
recommendation?
What are they advocating? If they have a plea deal that sends a guy to the pen for 20 years, I really am not inclined to go behind with the lawyer and the DAs because they know a lot more of the situation than I do. Yeah. Judges don't get to sit there and go back and have investigators and stuff like that. So you got to be able to trust the lawyers in front of you.
Yeah.
Now, if it's plea deal is left to me, I'm going to try to follow what I've been doing in the past.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about Judge Hinch's court. I can pretty much tell you in a family law situation what's going to happen because he's consistent.
How would you address the issue with, we've struggled sometimes with, we had a case this year that they brought it back 3 times before they finally had a jury that was able to hear the trial. Because it kept getting reset. The people brought all their witnesses and everything else, and it kept getting reset because they could not get a jury. How would you address getting a jury to actually getting people to show up for jury duty and then be able to get them in for trials? Do you have a way of?
Well, ignoring jury duty, you can't get arrested for it. I mean, other than that, but I name a judge that's arrested somebody for not showing up for a jury.
I can't think of anybody recently.
I can't think. I've been doing this for 32 years and I've never seen it.
I guess couldn't you go and pull someone off the street? I mean, isn't that legal?
Yeah. I've been in JP court.
That may not make you many friends, though.
Yeah, it didn't make you any friends, but I was in JP court. I'm not going to say who it was, but he said, told his bailiff to go find a couple of people.
Yeah.
And we had a jury trial.
Yeah. You just wish that people would take it more seriously when they get the summons. Well,
that's been a problem of every county.
I've never served on a jury. It's partly because I'm on the media. I'm in the media. I'm not really someone they want to be on the jury. I've
been on several panels, and I got almost picked on one, but that the person sitting to my left was the last one picked, and
so you were able to avoid it.
But I did serve on a federal jury years ago.
I've sat in a lot of courtrooms over the years. I've been doing this since 1998. That's a long time. How do you see the relationship between prosecutors, defense attorneys, and the court in ensuring justice is served?
Again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. You got to trust your lawyers.
Okay.
You got to trust your lawyers, and if you don't, then you need to go talk. If it's an assistant DA or whatever you don't trust, then there's a problem.
I was talking to Judge Kane last week about the court. Liberty County has a high number of court-appointed attorneys in the cases. I mean, most people come in there and they're unable to pay for their own representation. And so I guess you would be able to help in one way by limiting who you allow. You would only allow the people that you know would do a good job for those clients. Right. Right? Okay. That's what I thought.
I remember having this discussion with Judge Moorfield about having that trust with the lawyers. Mm-hmm. If you don't trust a lawyer that's serving in front of you, that's a problem.
Yeah. We've got some pretty good attorneys in Liberty.
I think we're very blessed. Yeah. I remember when I was living in the Heights, and still working here in Liberty, I knew several lawyers that when made the remark that y'all have a very good, high quality local lawyers there, because he said when we go to litigate in Liberty County, we always want to hire one of you guys to be with us.
Do you think it's best for people to, when they have a case in Liberty County, to hire a local attorney versus one from out of town?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because you know the court. You know the people. For example, I just mentioned knowing what Judge Hinch will do in a family law case. Lawyers out of Houston or Beaumont, they may not know. But I know that Judge Hinch is going to be consistency, and I can at least give my client a little bit of an expectation of what's going to happen so they can make a better decision on what to do with their divorce.
Yeah. I see a lot of times they bring in these out-of-town attorneys, and I'm not sure that it's good for the clients. High-dollar attorneys from Beaumont or Houston or somewhere like that.
Oh, and some of them are not very nice people.
Yeah, yeah. You probably know more about it than I do.
Yes.
So what considerations go into ruling on evidentiary objections, particularly in high-stakes criminal cases?
Well, to me, there's no such thing as a low-stakes criminal case, because it matters a great deal to everybody.
Everything's high stakes for the person involved.
Yes. Again, going back to it's real to the puppy. No, the rules of evidence, it's all there before you. Unlike law school, where they hide things from you, being on the bench, there's nothing hidden from you. The books are right there. The computer's right there. It shouldn't be a big guessing game.
Yeah.
The information's right there for you.
So how do you view sentencing discretion under Texas law? What factors should a judge's decisions within... What factors should guide a judge's decisions within that discretion?
Repeat offenders. Period. If this person has multiple arrests, look, these people aren't going to do right.
They're going to continue a high recidivism rate.
You look what's going on in Harris County.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's grieving families right now because these multiple offenders are treated like first-time offenders.
Yeah, they let them out.
Yeah, they let them out. But don't get me wrong. You can have a first-time offender that it's egregious what they did.
Oh, yeah.
So they should be punished accordingly.
Yeah.
But look at the person's past. History predicts the future. So,
Do you have any cases that you've represented that have just kind of stayed with you? That's hard to shake off at the end of a day?
well, I I had a criminal case, and it was in Judge Kane's court, and it was an injury to an elderly, and
A what?
injury
to an elderly. Okay.
in a felony, and I had to voir dire the jury, and I had to ask them, will they be fair to my client, even though he was homosexual? And I thought, that, I have to ask the question. But I thought, it's sad that I had to ask that question.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the jury came back and said not guilty. That's always bothered me, that I shouldn't have to ask that question. But I can see where a client would say, I think they held that against me.
Yeah.
And you should have asked them about it, if they could be fair to me. And so that's what I did, but I hate that I had to do that.
Hate to have to ask. So what responsibility does a judge have to ensure a clear record for appeal, and how does that affect trials, how trials are conducted?
Well, obviously, if it's done correctly, if you overrule the objection, the person should be able to come back, and they are allowed to put on the record on why they think that's wrong. But the fact of the matter is, making a clean record is just paying attention to the rules. If you just follow the evidence and the rules, you're going to have a clean record.
What guiding principles would you rely on most when making decisions from the bench if you were elected?
Again, trusting the lawyers.
Okay.
And my experience of doing this for 32 years. I mean, I can tell when there's an argument that doesn't apply. And I know I've been in the courtroom where I've heard a lawyer make an argument knowing full well that that's not the law.
If you could say anything to the voters to have them understand what you're about when they're making their decision when they go into the ballot, to go into the polls on March 3rd. It's March 3rd. What would you want them to know about you?
Well, legally speaking, I'm the most experienced lawyer in the race. There will be nothing that will come in front of me that I haven't seen before. I have 32 years, and I've always, how to say this, I have a clean record of doing a good job for my clients, and just know that'll be carried over to the bench. And you can walk in that courtroom and look at me and say, I trust him. I absolutely trust him.
Be a little weird to see both your photo and your dad's photo on the same wall, won't it?
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Cool, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's something that you think about.
Sure.
Yeah. I always close every one of these interviews with rapid fire things that are just fun.
Sure.
You can answer a short sentence, a long, however much you need, but most times it just requires a little short answer. What is the most important lesson you've learned in your legal career?
Most important lesson is be patient with people and care.
Who has been your biggest mentor?
Obviously, my father. I've watched him through the years, and the reason the people gravitated toward him because they could trust him.
He had a very good reputation in Liberty County.
Yes, he did.
And he was kind of revered.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's a hard act to follow.
It is. I was in court in Houston several years ago, and this lawyer was complaining because this other lawyer never shows up.
Yeah.
And so the judge called that lawyer and said, how come you're not here? And he said, whatever the excuse was, and then the judge said, I'm going to tell you something. Several years ago, I was in Judge Zbranek's court, and he didn't know I was in the courtroom. And he said, that judge told me the next time that I didn't show up, that I better bring a toothbrush because I'm not going home.
Because he was going to hold you in contempt.
That is correct.
Well, he took it seriously. I sat on a few of his things. What quality do you respect most in a judge? Fairness.
I mean, am I going to be treated fairly, regardless of who's on the other side? Or are you going to be fair to my client?
What do you believe is the biggest challenge facing district courts today? Not just the ones in Liberty County, just district courts.
Workload.
Just workload.
Yeah. I mean, the legislature's going to have to do something to create some more courts. That's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah. I don't know how you manage to plow through all of it if as a district judge.
You just got to do
It's a lot.
Got to do the best that you can. And the thing about it is, district attorneys and the defense lawyers maybe need to take a little bit of a different approach.
What advice would you give to young attorneys practicing in Liberty County? Just getting started.
I would advise them to take court-appointed cases. Don't be choosy. Gain the full experience of the criminal law, the family law, the civil law, probate. Do it all. Become well-rounded, and if you find a niche that you want to be in, that's fine. But I just know in Liberty County, it's hard to specialize.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the Pickett Law Firm with Carl and Ed, they kind of specialize, but they're really good at it and made a living at it. I can't do that.
What is your area that you do in your law firm right now? Is it criminal, civil? It's criminal, civil, everything.
That's correct.
Okay.
I mean, there's two things I can't do. I can't do civil patent, and I can't do copyright because you have to have a special license for that and an extra year of law school.
But you do wills and probate?
Wills and probate, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. When you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
With my wife and then the family. I live out in the country, and so I piddle around there, and I like watching the news and just stuff like that.
What are your hobbies?
Fishing. I like saltwater fishing.
Saltwater fishing?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the last book that you read?
The last book that I read, that's a hard one because I spend most.
I know.
I spend
most of my time reading news.
There was.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. But no, I'm trying to. Truman Capote wrote the book, and I can't.
In Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood.
Gosh, I love that book. And for people who have not read In Cold Blood, it is so beautifully written. It is a brutal topic, but it's about some murders in Kansas that happened back in the 30s or 40s. Yeah. And Truman Capote writes in such a way that he draws you in from the first paragraph.
Exactly.
It is beautifully written. And it's a brutal read, but it's a big book.
Yeah.
But it's a good book.
Yes, ma'am.
It's one of my favorites too. I'm glad that you said that. Yeah, yeah. Well, Zach, thanks for taking time to sit down with me today and talk to me about your perspectives if you were elected.
I sure appreciate you and giving me the time to do this. Thank you very much.
For our listeners, this has been Headlines and Heartlines, a Bluebonnet News podcast. As always, this episode and others in the Headlines and Heartlines podcast show will be shared on Bluebonnet News, YouTube, Spotify, and KILE FM radio. I'm Vanessa Brazier, and thank you for listening.